it's great to be a Gator, but also great to be around all these wonderful high school programs. Definitely a big shout out to Coach Hawkins for being the lead on this and helping put this together for Ware County. For Ware County hosting it, but he was the ringleader of making sure we had a media day in this area. So thanks a lot, Coach, for that, and just putting everything together from the social media stuff and making contacts with you guys and just caring. We know we're in football country, but just caring and letting people know that we do have basketball in the surrounding area and what these great student athletes are doing. It's kind of odd because I just found out when I was in high school, I used to be trained by y'all's coach. Y'all knew that? Well, they didn't know that yet. And so we were just talking. He was like, "Where do I know you from?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Woodville." I said, "I was from Atlanta." He's like, "What part?" And we started talking. I was like, "In high school." So I made him feel real old. He trained me when I was in high school. So shout out to your coach. So he definitely knows what you're doing. I mean, he's a great coach. But thanks to the media that's coming. We appreciate you guys taking the time out. We know it's late at night, but we wanted to do it on a Wednesday so you don't have to juggle with rec league, football, and so forth. Shout out to all the coaches that got your student athletes here and caring, and that's the biggest thing. All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to Coach up here. I don't even have a pamphlet, but Atkinson. And he's going to talk a little bit about his program. All coaches are going to talk about their program. Your summers, your players, what you're looking forward to this year, your region, and just highlight the day with the media. Media, you're more than welcome to ask any questions after. As soon as they say any questions, definitely let us know what media you're associated with, and then ask the question. Any questions? All right.
How's everybody doing? All right. I'm glad to, when the coaches we got together and we had our first meeting, one of the things that Coach Hawkins and I initiated and started talking about was having a media day. So I'm glad to see it shape up and form, and it will just get bigger from here. I think it's always great to have this to start the season off, because it kind of sets your journey in place. This is my first year at Atkinson County High School as a coach. I actually played at Atkinson County High School, but I've been out of the area for about 30 years, and I've returned to kind of help out some of my guys that I grew up with. Their kids are playing now. And so this year we're coming into the season after a pretty good summer. I think it's a big change from the style of play that we played before, or they played before. I'm used to a pretty up and down style of play, a lot of pressing. I'm giving y'all a little information on what's getting ready to happen. I'll see Coach Tripp next week sometime. But I had the opportunity to meet him this summer. But Zaki and Quay are my seniors. They're getting ready to graduate, so what we're hoping to do is make sure that this season right here is a good season for them to go out and have probably the best year they've had out of the 4 years here. They've been excited about it. This is a tight-knit group. We got family members up here right now. I got, 2 brothers? 4 brothers right now? All right, 2 sets of brothers. And pretty much a lot of them are related to each other, so they've grown up together. We have a young team with having 2 that are seniors, and what we're looking to do is just come in and try to build a culture and change the culture. I don't even really care what happened last year. Our focus is just getting better every day. We worked hard, this summer. They've been advocate about getting in the gym every day. And for me, it's all about how much time we put in. We try to get in the gym as much as possible, and breaking down and having guys that really like to work is important to me. You guys have any questions? Media-wise, got any questions?
Yeah, Coach Sean Foden, 912 Sports. Which region are y'all playing in this year?
Region-wise, I honestly don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. I go into Region 2, Region 2A. So one thing about me and the way I do things is I play my schedule. I play against the teams that they say that we're going to play against. I look forward to playing against those teams. It's pretty much the same teams that we've always played against, and I look forward to going back into those gyms. And I try to focus on, each possession. And it don't matter who we play. And I'll play anybody, and we'll play anybody from single A to 7A, as long as they'll put us on the schedule. So, but I'll need to know that when we get ready for our region tournament for sure. Anybody else?
Coach Adam Bell, Charlton Sportsnet. It's good to meet you. Enjoyed talking when you do a pregame, a little bit, or pregame, pre-press conference. What's your outlook on region play this year with the Rebels?
There's been a lot of dynamics that's happened in our region with kids moving and kids not being a part of their teams. I feel pretty confident going in as far as making a good run and it being a little bit different than it has been in the past. I think these guys are excited about it, and I think that we'll bring a different style of play that people haven't seen, and it'll make the games more exciting and the games more, up and down. And I kind of sat and watched some of the last year's games and things like that, so I feel pretty good about it.
Appreciate it.
How about you guys?
Good.
Yeah.
Rick Nolte from the Journal Herald, you mentioned up and down. Is that what you're used to, or is that what you're getting to?
That's what we're getting to.
So they're used to more half court?
I think when it comes to, from a defensive perspective, they're used to kind of getting back and playing half court, and I think it's always exciting to get a lot of possessions in the game.
So you're going to play more a full court game?
Every single minute of it. What y'all want to slow it down, speed it up?
Slow it up.
Let's do that. Anybody else? All right, so as far as the guys up here, this is Taquavius Williams. Actually, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
How y'all doing? My name is Quay. Well, y'all call me Quay. Taquavius Williams. I'm a senior. I play everything. Let's see. Y'all want to know? What is y'all name? How old? 17. Alright, hang on because I can.
Alright, my name is Nike. You call me Ty. Nike. On the scene, on 18. I play everything, really. I'm most of the shooter, though. Shoot lights out of it, too.
My name is Josiah Williams, class 2026. I'm a shooting guard. I play 3 sports: basketball, football, baseball.
My name is Hayden Powell, class 2027. I'm an all-around threat.
My name is Isaac Williams, class 2026, and I'm a point guard. My name is Andrew Matthew, class 2025, I'm a point guard.
My name is Jeremiah Guzman. I'm J2. I'm a small forward, shooting guard. I hoop and I play football.
All right, so as you can see, the guys we got the guys coming back, and we hope that one of the biggest things that I see about them, and when you get to different schools, there's always different cultures that you'll see. And just even in coming here, some of the things that I talk about, I kind of watch them and I kind of try to learn from them. They like to giggle a lot. They like to laugh and joke a lot. But when you turn the game on, they like to play hard. So I try to let some of it slide, but you constantly talking to them about just having a serious demeanor about what they do and how they work, and both in the classroom and on the court, being serious about what they're trying to accomplish and set some goals ahead that they can focus on every day. They're, like I said, they're a tight-knit group, and and I think that'll play a lot into how they play as they get to learn me and learn the system of things that I like to do. I think it fits well with them. All right, if there's no more questions, thank y'all for having us. We look forward to seeing you guys on the road, and have a good day.
You guys are okay, I'm gonna let them sit down and I'll stand up. I didn't get a whole lot of stuff ready. It's my first time ever getting out of media day, and I've been the head varsity boys coach for 18 years at Brantley. Before I start going over our season and what we're looking forward, I want to hand the mic to these guys. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Y'all can say what class you are, what position you play.
I'm Luke Hall, class 2024, play forward.
Tucker O'Quinn, class 125, point guard. Patrick O'Quinn, class 2025, shooting guard.
So I've had most of my guys out for the first couple of weeks of the season. I only added a couple of football players to the varsity team after they finished up last week. So we've been practicing against each other the first couple of weeks. A lot of kids have the flu and a lot of illness, but we are ready to play. It's got to the point, you practice against each other every day. You start fighting with each other, so we are ready. We're ready to play. We play next week. We got Wayne County away. We've got Atco away. Our first 3 games are away. As far as going over our schedule, I'll go over that real quick. First home game is after Thanksgiving against Ware County. We're looking forward to that. Our first region game is at Pierce, I believe. So, that's always a barroom fight when we go over there and play those guys. So we're looking forward to that too. Our region's going to be tough again. We have Windsor Forest was one of the better teams in the region last year. He lost a lot of kids, but he'll be solid again. Toombs County is a really big team. They're bringing back their whole team, and Vidalia is really tough. After that, you have us and Pierce and Tatnall and Apple County. So it's going to be a eventful season. You play at Brantley, and if you play on a Friday night and you're playing a region opponent, maybe it's Pierce or Tatnall or Apple, somebody that we've been grouped with for 10 years, it's going to be a packed house. And our kids really get up and play at home. It's a good environment for high school basketball. I think it's one of the best around. A lot of officials don't really appreciate calling games at Brantley. But we like to play at home, and we'll have some really good games this season there. As far as the kind of style we play, it's going to be determined by who we play. We've got some decent post players. Luke Hall's a senior for us. He's a good post player for us. We have Carson Jacobs, a junior. We only have maybe 2 seniors on the team, and our top 9 kids that we're going to play are junior and sophomore head. So still a young team. Last year we were young again this year, and that's good and bad. If you have a young team, you're going to continue to improve as the season moves through, and you're going to get better. But with a young team comes the bumps in the roads and the inexperience and the mistakes. But kids are working hard. I'm going to look at my notes real quick. Does anybody have a question? Any media have a question before I look at my notes and go over a few other things? Go ahead. Go ahead.
My nephew actually started playing for you guys at the middle school level, so I wanted to ask you guys have always been a basketball power in Brantley County. And I think that speaks a lot to your youth program as you guys come up. I was wondering if you could speak to that.
Power is I appreciate that, but I don't know about power. But thank you. Think about basketball. If you have 3 pretty good players, you can build around 3 pretty good players with some good role players, and you can have a competitive team. And at Brantley, if we're competitive, the fans are going to be out and they're going to support us. Football's a little different. You need a lot more kids. So that's why maybe basketball, we can be a little bit more competitive. And you asked about our youth program?
I'm sorry, sir?
You asked about our youth program?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Kids just start playing, you know, like Coach Harmon was talking about from Atkinson earlier. You know, I played with the O'Quinn twins. I played with their dad growing up some. He was a little bit younger than me, but we would get together at the gym. I taught Luke Hall's mom and dad in school, so I've been at Brantley for 27, 28 years. I know all of them, and a lot of the people I grew up with, their kids play basketball. They get them involved in rec leagues at an early age, and I think that's where you get that, where it means something to them. You have a lot of participation in the rec league program in basketball, and they find a love for it at an early age.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, anybody else have a question for me before I look at my notes and see that? I think I went just about over everything that was on my notes. Any other last minute questions?
Coach Sean with 912 Sports.
Sure.
You guys do have a unique home environment, and it's kind of different from any place else. How do you guys use that to your advantage when you're in your home gym?
Bringing up the home environment, there is going to be a new high school rule this year. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but they're not going to allow anybody to sit on the bottom rows. And at Brantley, it's a really tight, it's a small gym. We don't have a whole lot of space, but we pack them in there. But that question you asked got me thinking. So that may play a role when you're playing at Brantley or at Pierce, where if they don't let kids or fans sit on that bottom row, it might take a little bit out of the environment, but I think it's going to be good for a safety issue. But our fans do like basketball. We have a good student section at Brantley. They get excited about it. They get a lot of energy. They bring a lot of energy. They get into the games, and our kids feed off of it. Early in the season, if you have a lot of young kids, it's a lot of pressure playing at home. You'll find out sometimes it's easier to go play on the road where there's not as much pressure. Your friends, your family aren't there. But once they do it a couple of times, they get used to it. And by region play, we are normally used to the crowd. So yes, our home crowd is a big advantage for us. Anybody else have a question? Hey, I thank you guys for having us. I appreciate y'all doing this. I think this is something really good for our area. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Those guys set the bar fairly high, so I'm hoping to hold my own here. I'm Coach Shanisha Smith from Camden County High School. This is Taylor Rydell. Would you introduce yourself? No, go ahead.
Taylor Rebel, class of 2024.
I'm Keely Bryant, I go by Kiki, and I'm class of 2024.
Something like Coach Atkinson mentioned, this is my second year at Camden County High School. I actually played at Camden County High School. My sister who's here, my assistant, she played at Camden County High School. My entire staff is pretty much Camden County High School alone. So for us, this program means a lot. For us to come back and kind of get things back to where it used to be, especially when we played. And if you guys know, Camden is pretty much a football town now. Everybody's crazy about football, but in the past, basketball was just as good, especially on the girls' side. So we're trying to build this thing back up to where it used to be. Super excited about the program and direction that it's going. We had a very, very, very good summer. We got a lot of our returners back, which is good. We got some kids back from some injuries coming off of last season, which was tough for us. If any of you guys know, it was very tough. We had some injuries and some things just took place. So for us we were building the culture at the same time, changing the culture, learning the kids, putting our system in. It was just tough. So this year, I like the way that things are going. We're practicing hard. We have a strength coach in the weight room, which is good for these girls. And then the off season has just been great. Practice, we're in the gym almost all the time. Very disciplined in what we do in the gym. They're held accountable for everything. The discipline is extremely important for us. Execution-wise is one of my number one things that I harp on, especially in practice. I'm a true believer in, how you practice is how you're gonna play. So we hold them accountable in everything. One of our slogans is game ready, so everything we do has to be game ready before they step out of the locker room. So that means shirt tucked in, jewelry off. Everything is to the T. So I'm excited the way the girls are responding. We're fairly young in regards to experience-wise, but we do have some kids that, like I said, 3 out of our 5 starters are returning. We have 6 seniors this year. Looking forward to that. Taylor Rietville is an Anderson University signee, so let's give it up for her. She actually signed with us today. Yes. All right, so that's exciting. Keela Bryan has a lot of offers out there and some visits set up, so we'll see how that goes. We do have a very good point guard that's coming off of an ACL injury, so we're excited to see her growth and what she can bring for us. We have another shooter that's going to be pretty good in Kanaya Patterson. And then we have some young kids that's kind of filling the gaps in what we do. Regarding my style of play, very up-tempo, very fast-paced, but I want them to be poised. And of course, like I said, the discipline, and we look at execution, what we do with the ball. Making good decisions is very important to me. I think the point guard spot is the hardest spot because both of us were point guards. We were Division I point guards as well, so our point guards had it tough, I'll be honest. But I'm looking forward to what we're doing, and I'm excited about it. Regarding the region, of course, we're 7A, so we know that's the biggest you can get in classification. It's a dog fight every night for us. We have Lions in the region who's won, 2 times, so they're back-to-back. You have Valdosta, who's a powerhouse in itself. We have Richmond Hill. We know what they bring, and then we also have Colquitt. Colquitt is always a tough place, tough environment to play. As Coach from Brandon mentioned, that's a tough environment as well. So the region for us every night is a dog fight, but we're excited for it. Regarding my scheduling, I do my scheduling on purpose. I don't want us to play, no cupcake teams. You can't do anything in the region if you're playing those type of teams. So it's very intentional about who we play. I want our girls to hopefully, not get busted in the mouth, but I want them to kind of get busted in the mouth to see how they respond. We're going to 2 major tournaments this year. We'll be playing in the Insider Exposure event, which is in Jacksonville, Florida with John McGraw, so that's huge. I think he has about 300 to 500 plus coaches already confirmed, and then we're also playing in the Thanksgiving Classic tournament in Tampa, Florida, which is going to be big as well. So I do that to put our girls in front of coaches all the time. I want them to get an opportunity, so I try to, figure out ways to get my girls seen. So we are going to 2 big tournaments. I think that's it. Anybody got any questions for us?
Yeah, Coach, you guys playing that tough, Region 1 7A, and it's a long haul from Camden County to Colquitt. If you guys play on a Tuesday night, how do you handle that? Because you're out of school probably lunchtime or right around it, and you're not going to get home till after midnight.
Oh, it's tough. It was tough for me. Some of the girls who were returners were used to it. It was like, Coach, this is going to be a terrible ride. But, we did it. And that's crazy. When we went to Colquitt, what did we have, 7 kids? I think we had like 7 kids that were playing. We had some kids that were sick, that were injured. We went with 7 kids, so that was kind of tough. But yeah, we get on the bus and we come right back. So it is. Being in this region is kind of tough. So I'm kind of excited to see how this thing is going to shake up. With everybody going to 6A next year and kind of see how it helps us with the travel.
Maybe it'll keep you closer.
I know, right? I hope so. Anybody else got any questions?
Coach, I know it's a year away, but I wanted to ask you again, because you guys are currently 7A and the GHSA's bunching everybody up next year. How does that affect your travel and so forth?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll get some of the teams that's kind of close to us. I think that'll be good because that's who we're used to playing anyway. We do a lot of games with those teams out of the region games. So I think it'll be good. I kind of like this because I kind of like the 7A schedule, not to travel, but I like that we get to see other teams away from us. I know we're used to playing the Brunswicks, the Glens, and people like that. So I think it'll be good to kind of get back to it in a sense, but then I kind of want to branch out and see who else we can play. Yeah. You guys have anything else? No? You guys have any questions for the players? I think I covered everything. You got a question for us, ma'am?
You said you was going to the Thanksgiving tournament.
Yeah.
What are you doing on the Christmas break? What's the tournament on Christmas break?
That's the Temple.
Oh,
Temple Bay Invitational. Thank you. You missed that?
no, you said.
Put it in your notes, ma'am.
You
Thank
said
you.
Thanksgiving.
All right, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Hello, I'm Coach Alicia Sumter. I'm the head coach of Charleston County Maidens, Folkestone, Georgia, and with me I have
Christiana Farmer, class of 2026. I'm a point guard and shooting guard.
First off, I want to say thank y'all for having us. We're very excited to kick off our new season. We lost a good bit of players last year. We graduated 5 seniors, but we also had 5 very talented kids coming up from the middle school, all of which probably could be sitting here with me tonight. But I do believe in nothing is given until it's earned. So they haven't learned anything at high school level, and I make that clear to them, almost every day. But first and foremost, I want to express my gratitude for our supporters that we have in Charleston County. We have a very, very supportive community of folks that rally around us and make it easy for me to do what I do. So coming off the season, during the summer season, we had a very good start. We have, like I said, we're bringing up 5 of the girls from the middle school. So a very, very young team. We only have 1 senior. So I thought it was very important to, like Coach said, instill that discipline over the summer and going into this season, because we have to make up for the inexperience that we're going to have, the game experience that we don't have. We got to make up for that in discipline. So Cece, being one of the leaders of the team, she's only a sophomore, but last season she stepped up big for us, really scoring around 26, averaging around 26 points a game, 7 rebounds. She came in and she was one of the team leaders on the floor, but also off the court. So we're gonna need that leadership from her this year with some of the younger girls, because we're gonna need her game experience as well. But in our region, we know that in Region 2A, we have Clinch County, which is one of our biggest ranked rivals, and they won the state championship last year. So we're coming into that, and we're getting ready for them. That's really our goal. That's who we use to prepare, but we prepare for everybody. We don't take anybody for granted, for sure. We tried to, Coach and I tried to come up with a challenging schedule to kind of put the younger kids through some tests before we get into region play. So we're going into the Calhoun County tournament over the Christmas break, and try to get see some of the teams that we don't normally see in regular season play, so that we can prepare for that postseason play as well. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Coach, I know you. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good.
I wanted to ask you about the, we made the playoffs last year, So there's a lot of expectations around Charlton County for the girls to repeat with that. Do y'all feel that pressure around back home?
Well, I always feel the pressure, but I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I feel like it's always on me. The 3 years that I've been here, this is going into my 3rd year, the pressure has always been on me to kind of make it farther than we did last year. But, I mean, I accept the challenge, and I'm sure the girls will be ready.
Coach, you mentioned Clinch winning the state championship. You guys are in the same region. How do you use that to motivate your girls to say, you know, listen, if Clinch can do it, we can do it?
Well, that's true. If Clinch can do it, we can do it. But we know that Clinch is a good team. They're well coached, and we have to step up to that challenge in that way. Some of the younger girls are going to have to step into positions that they're not really used to playing, because we have a girl that's 6'2", but we don't have a whole lot of height. And that's one of the positions that Clinch does dominate. They have Dorsey that plays in the paint, and she plays well in the paint. So we're going to prepare for that in that way. They've lost a lot too, though, so we're preparing for them. Any other questions?
I have a question for, it's Christiana, right? Yes. Yeah, I thought so. I'm trying to eyeball that number as you're walking up. I know all the girls by numbers. I'll see them in Harvey's or something. They'll come up to me. I have no idea who you are without the number. But anyway, Christiana, is there anything you don't do in Charlton County? I mean, you're an outstanding softball player, outstanding basketball player. What's next?
I would play football if I could. But, oh yeah, track is next. And that's it. There's no other sports for us.
So sophomore now, right? Am I right on that? Sophomore?
Yes,
Sophomore, so there's plenty of time to go out there, see Coach Sumter smile and splice that sophomore tag. Got this for 2 more years. 3 more. Thank you, Christiana.
Any other questions? Thank y'all.
Evening, everyone. Appreciate everyone being here. We're thankful for the opportunity to be on Coach Hawkins, Marcus Hawkins, with the Charlton Indians. To my right, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves.
Leon Carew, class 2024, small forward, power forward.
I'm Jack Reddick. This is my first year at Charlton. Point guard, shooting guard, left grade.
This is my first year at Charlton. Originally, but I'm a Florida boy, and second year in Georgia. Spent last year at McIntosh County. We had a pretty, got it there in June. Got the call June 1, made the transition. We had a pretty good summer, busy summer schedule was pretty much laid out. We added a few things to it. I think we probably played about 28 games over the course of June. Gave me an opportunity as a new coach at a new school to see the guys that I'll be coaching. And so, we gave it as much opportunity as we possibly could. Got into the fall, and we participated in the fall league as well. Again, another opportunity to see these guys in competition against, other than themselves playing in PE or, things of that nature. So joined the fall league, more exposure, more experience for these guys. So it's been a busy 4 or 5 months leading up to the beginning of the season. And so we're super excited. Charlton has a very rich history. Last year they were state runner-up, so we come into that with the high expectations the community is. You know, the last couple of years they've had some pretty good seasons, and so I'm sure the community is expecting the same. And so we have the same expectations. Our expectations are high. These guys will tell you, you know, we don't allow them to give us anything less than their best, and so we're super excited about that. We're asking these guys. Our dynamic has changed a lot. Those of you who may know Charlton, you know, it's very much different than what it was last year. So it's a whole, the makeup of the team is entirely different. So we're asking guys to do more, do things that they weren't asked to do last year. So everybody's going to have to step up to the plate, and we're excited about it. We have some these guys who are up here with me. They've been tremendous leaders these last couple of weeks, first 2 weeks of the season. And we have some other young guys who we are expecting to contribute greatly to what we're trying to do, and we think we can put it all together and you know, have a very successful year. I don't know much about the region since I'm new. You know, I was in single A last year with McIntosh, so I heard of the teams, but just excited and ready to get to work in Region 2. So that's pretty much it for me. Any questions?
Yeah, Coach, taking over a team like that, do you find it easier for these guys for you to teach your philosophy to them, or for you to kind of mold to what they're used to?
I think with what we have, as I said, our makeup is entirely different. We, you know, lost some key players from last year, and so for me, it's a great. Honestly, for me, it's great because I can come in and put my philosophy in a little easier, because the guys who are here now and you know, they're having to do new roles, and so it's just a little easier. And they've been very receptive. You know, it's like I say, it's coming together really well. I like what I'm seeing.
Coach, how do you prepare in a region? It's a tough region. I know the Indians just went to state last year. You got this group coming into the season. You got Clinch, Turner, Atco, these guys, huge powerhouses in basketball, Region Class A, Region 2 Class A, and we're right there in the lot. How do you prepare the guys for that, keep them focused?
Well, you know, we try and make our practices to where these guys are challenged. You know, and they're working hard and understanding that, you know, we haven't really gotten into because we don't have our full team yet. We're waiting on football, and so we haven't really gotten into the idea of you know, which I know those guys probably know because some of them are returners, but you know, what they're going to face, what they're going to see. You know, we talk about you know, being disciplined and working hard and giving your all and making sure you do those things that any coach would tell their kid to be successful. And I think, you know, we can't really worry about who we're facing up against, or you know, who's on the schedule. If we take care of, you know, us, what we're asking these guys to do, you know, I have no doubt it doesn't matter, as Coach stated earlier, whether it's a single A school or a 6A school. If we take care of what we're asking them to do, I'm very confident, you know, in the group that we'll have.
Thank you, Coach.
Any other questions? Again, guys, thank you. As Coach Williams said, we're super excited about basketball in this area. You know, I'm a basketball junkie, and it doesn't matter if it's I did girls basketball for 10 years. It doesn't matter if it's girls, boys. We just want to see basketball in this area get the exposure that it deserves. So we're hoping that this is the first media day, but we're hoping that it grows. You know, we get more coaches involved, more schools involved, more media, and that it grows into something big, and it becomes what teams look forward to every year at the beginning of the season to kick off their season. So thank you to all the media who made the trip to be with their schools in this area. Thank you to Charles Sportsnet for broadcasting and Prep Hoops and 912 Sports. We appreciate everything that you guys do to help push basketball in our area. And so thank you very much.
thank y'all for letting us go next. I have a player that's got to get to work. So I am Mandy Langenfelter, and I'm the head girls basketball coach here at Ware County High School. And this is
Coco Moody, class of 2024.
And this is
Anaya Wesley, class of 2024.
And I have 3 other seniors that could not be with us tonight. One is very sick, Trinity Jenkins. I hate that she couldn't be here. And then Aniston Delk is also a senior, and she had to be at church tonight, which is great. And Linnea Garrison is also a senior. So we have 5 seniors this year. And we have 5 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 2 freshmen. So just a little bit about us. We had a great summer. The girls and I were just talking while we were out there at the live event. We were just recapping just a little bit in June. We always play a full schedule in June. We usually play 25 to 28 games. But at the live event, we were just talking about, we actually played Chamblee, which is going to be a crossover for us this year in the state tournament. But we didn't lose but 1 game at the live event, which was against Jones County, which they put us out in the state tournament this year. But we had a good summer. But we're coming off of a region championship last year. I'm sure some of you, especially media, followed us in Bradwell last year. We upset some people over there in Hinesville. We finished really well last year, 19-8. I think the target's going to be on our back this year. But we graduated 2 seniors last year, and we're returning everybody else, so in a tough region. But we're looking forward to a good year. Like I said, we've got 5 seniors. All of our guards are seniors, and high expectations. We are extremely fast. Not very big this year, but we are extremely fast, like to run the ball. Just love my babies. I can't believe they're all going to be graduating this year, but expecting big things out of them. One thing is that I want to mention is that we really push at our school in our program is the weight room, and we actually just finished bragging on one of our girls, which both of these young ladies sitting beside me are extremely strong in the weight room, but we had one player today, Charlacia Jones, to hit a new clean max today. She hit 210 today. So that's one thing that sets us apart from a lot of programs. And I can't remember who mentioned it to us today. They were talking about our scrimmage last night, but just that's the difference in our program, that we're so much stronger than a lot of teams we see. But I just wanted to recognize Charlacia, but Coco and Wesley are extremely strong in the weight room, but that's pretty much, I'm losing my train of thought a little bit, but if you have any questions for me about our region, but it's Bradwell, Statesboro, Greenbrier, Coffee, and Jenkins are in our region. But if you have any questions for us or for the girls.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Tree graduated, a lot of your offense, a lot of your defense ran through her last year. How do you replace a player like that?
You got an answer for us, Wesley? Coco, how do we replace Tree? She's very hard to replace because she did a lot of things, not just rebounding. She did a lot for us. She actually had a lot of assists and steals as well. But we actually looked pretty good last night. We've got some girls that are going to step up and fill her shoes. I think our speed, and we've got some kids that can shoot. I told our team we're just going to have to not miss. We're just not, just shoot the ball well. But we've got some young girls. We've got a 6'2" sophomore. We've got Charlacia that I was speaking about earlier. She's super strong inside. She's not as tall as Trey, but she's very strong. So, any other questions?
How about the region? Talk about the region and what everybody's bringing back.
The girls and I were just discussing Bradwell. Bradwell did graduate some girls, but they're bringing back plenty. So I feel like Bradwell's going to be just as strong as they were this past season. Statesboro's, again, graduated some girls, but they're bringing back some. You know, one of their bigs coming back, so, and one of their shooters is coming back. So, you know, the top is going to be the same. Those top four, Ware, Bradwell, Greenbrier, and Statesboro, should be the same. Now, Coffee was extremely young last year, so they're bringing everybody back. I know I've already heard that they have a freshman guard, point guard, that's very good. So, you know, everybody, you know, they're going to be way better. So it's tough. I mean, there's not a night you can take off in the region, ever. So it's still going to be strong. Any other questions? You got anything to say? What about you?
Manny, you play more up and down the floor than you have the last few years with Charlize. Particular pressure with guards or you know, both offense and defense.
Last night, this year we are trying, it's not really new for us because we are a pressing team and we love transition basketball, but we're taking it to another level. So it's, I know Rick was there last night watching, we are just taking it to another level as far as fast pace, and we're in your face immediately. So just the intensity is a lot stronger. We're very fast, so we're going to use that to our advantage. Does that answer your question? Okay. Anything else? And I just want to say, we are so excited to have Coach Williams on our staff. We are so blessed. And thank you, Coach Williams, for hosting and kind of getting this here. I know that you weren't the only one involved, but for the media coming and everybody being a part, I'm just thankful I didn't have to drive anywhere tonight. This has been great. But thank y'all for all coming.
I'm Coach Elaine Craven from Eccles County High School, and we look a little different than all the other groups. Aiden is on our boys team. Our guys coach could not be here tonight, and we wanted Aiden to have the recognition as one of our young men that Coach James wanted to put up here so badly and wanted to be here himself and be able to talk about him for just a minute. So I told him I would be glad to do that. And what he has to say about Aiden as a player for his program, I'm not going to speak on behalf of his program, but I would like to speak for just a second on behalf of Aiden. He said that he is a talented rebounder and scorer, and he is an awesome young man and leader, and he is an AB student in the classroom, very coachable, loves playing the game of basketball, and he just wanted him to have that recognition for being here. So Aiden is a junior. Yes, Aiden is a junior, and actually I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
My name is Aiden, class of 2025 4.
Yes, and you got to go ahead and introduce us as well.
I'm Angela, and I'm the class of 2024, and class of 2024.
My name is Maisha, I'm the class of 2024 as well.
All right, so to speak a little bit about our young ladies here, Ansley Staten is a senior, and Maisha Eversley is also a senior. Both of them are sitting up here due to their leadership and most definitely their dedication and their work ethic to the game of basketball that they both love so much. Their leadership has been outstanding, and especially over the summer. So as far as our program goes, I have, this will be my third season with at Eccles, coming from Lowndes, and I have thoroughly enjoyed being at Eccles, and really having to change the culture there as far as winning. Eccles girls basketball in the past has always had a very strong tradition of winning, being in the Final Four, being the state playoffs, winning the region, and so forth. As a matter of fact, my first year out of college, I coached there with Jenny Roberts, who was the head coach, and we went to the Final Four that year. And for years, Eccles Girls was an outstanding program. Past few years, in the past 5 or 6 years, it's been a little down. So this changing the culture of thinking we can win and we can do it, and this year is going to be a fabulous year. And so we're all so excited because I was telling them yesterday at practice, the depth that we have this year is more than we have had in a while. They actually have girls that can come off the bench and they know when they're on the floor, there's somebody that can come in, pushing them to be able to have to work harder to stay out there on the court, which is a big thing. We're one of the smallest single-A schools in the state of Georgia. We are in a region that is very tough with Turner and Clinch and Charlton. And so this past season, we were excited to make it to the state playoffs for the first time in quite a few years. And we went in as number 4 and almost beat the number 1 team from another region. So we came very close. It was a very tight game, the whole entire game. So we're very excited about where our program is going. One of the greatest things and the greatest responsibilities that we can have always as coaches is making a difference in their lives. And they also make a huge difference in our lives as well. So it is a wonderful job to be a coach. These young ladies sitting here, and there's 2 more seniors on the team. So we do have 4 seniors, 3 of them which have a lot of playing time and experience. So we're very excited about that because last year they were juniors, and then we had a few freshmen that played a lot as well. So the experience this year is going to make it where we are even a lot more competitive, and again, the depth. So over the summer we played quite a bit in June and had a good experience there with all of them playing a more up-tempo game. And speed has been our issue, playing against teams like Turner, Charlton, and Clinch. So this year we hope to see a difference there as well. Let's see. I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions?
Do you bring back some of the older players along that had success that the girls haven't experienced here lately? So how do you tie the community back into the program?
Thank you for bringing that up, because one thing about Eccles is the community. We don't have football. Basketball is the community, and they love it. And so our community support, starting from very young, playing a really strong rec ball team, coming up through the junior pro and then the middle school and on into high school, and our community strongly supports the boys and the girls. And it is a wonderful family there with the support that we do have. And so thank you for bringing that up. We do have a lot of players that will come back. I mean, even the ones that I coached that one year that I was there, they still come back, and then they even call me by my main name. Like, you're so excited because that's what they remember. They never forget their basketball experience at Eccles. I'm sorry, does somebody else have a question?
Yeah, how do you do your schedule? Because you kind of, you don't want to play your region foes, but again, being a single A school, there's nowhere to play but up. So how do you balance that schedule?
Well, last year, our guys coach wanted the boys team especially, they wanted them to really have the success of starting to winning. So we started playing some stronger private schools as well, because we are the size of most private schools. And so teaching them to win and have that success as well. So playing more private schools, but also playing other schools as well that are a little bigger than us has definitely been beneficial as well. And so we have Atkinson County as well. who is going to be looking even better this year. And also Lanier. Lanier has some really young players coming up with Shane Garner, who has many years of coaching experience as well. Is at Lanier as the head coach now. So we will definitely see a fight there from them as well. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how well Region 2 is represented in this thing tonight.
Yes.
It's really awesome to see. How do you girls, you mentioned Region 2 a while ago with the competition. Week in and week out, you got to face these powers in basketball in Region 2. How do you keep the girls motivated? Because I know every time I go to Eccles County to cover y'all with Chuck, they're always giving us a fit.
Yeah.
How do you keep that going?
I know, and that can be very difficult because whenever they are feel like they're having a hard time being successful against those teams, you just have to tell them every game, when you step onto that court, it doesn't matter. You know, the score is 0-0 in the beginning, and we're every single minute of the game and every single game we want to get better. And so I told them my first year, we're winning as long as we are getting better right now. And to see their improvement from where we were 2 years ago to where we are going to be this season, I think that's been their greatest motivator, not to push the winning so much in the beginning, but the getting more experienced and better as a team and as a unit. So instead of having 1 or 2 girls that are going to be scoring this year, we're going to have a good 5, more of a balance that way.
Do you have that? I believe that's her right there in the center, but I'm not sure. But do y'all have that 3-point shooter returning again this year?
Yes.
That's her, right?
Yes. Ansley put out in the region tournament a 42-point game and scored, was it 11 threes in that game? 10 threes and other, obviously others as well, other points as well. But yes, she can light it up. So
I was doing some of the webcasts last year. Now
yes.
You got to double team this girl.
Yes, that's right.
But thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, and Ansley's very interested in playing college ball as well, so she's working very hard to get there. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank y'all very much for having us. We really appreciate it.
How's everybody doing? So, I'm Coach Chase Daniel from Clinch County, coach the girls. I brought 2 of my seniors tonight. To my left, Tiana Dorsey, and to my right, Loretta Morris. We're just glad to be here and appreciate y'all inviting us. So I wasn't in here in the previous schools were talking, so I don't really know. Do y'all ask me questions first? Do I talk about the upcoming season first?
Yeah, you can talk about the upcoming season, and we'll ask you some questions.
Okay, sorry. So obviously last year we were very fortunate to win a state championship title, and that's all attributed to this group of talent that I have with me, and we're very excited to return a lot of talent from last year's team, even though we lost 3 senior starters. They're going to be tough to replace, but like I said, we had a good summer. We went to Georgia Southern and competed at the FCA camp, and I think we got 8 or 10 games in there, and we played another 2 or 3 during the month of June, and had some good practices. We've had 2 really good weeks of practice so far this year. She was the finals MVP, and she did really good on her post-game interview after the state championship game, so I don't know why she's being shy tonight, but maybe she'll be better about answering some questions. So, open it up for questions.
Well, Coach, you guys did win it all last year, so how do you deal with complacency? How do you deal with, the carrot's already been achieved, but I know it's out there again, but how do you deal with the complacency of, oh, we've already done that?
Well, fortunately, we're kind of used to coming back after a successful year because, like I said before, this senior group that we have, they've been a part of 2 state championships, played for 2 state championships, lost when they were freshmen by 4 points, and then, obviously won last year. And so, and then winning 3 out of 4 region championships the last 4 years, they've kind of, become accustomed, so to speak, with coming back and knowing that everybody's going to be giving them their best shot, and they know what it took to get where they were the years before. So, they're used to the grind, and I think that they do well stepping up to the challenge.
Coach, if I could, first of all, congratulations on last year. Awesome season.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about Macon, because it seemed like I was there, obviously with Charlton last year with the boys, and I wanted to ask you, it seemed like some of the teams had maybe a depth perception problem in Macon in there. Did you see that? Was that your perception as well?
Yeah, and we've kind of known that too. At Valdosta State in the Final Four, we kind of experienced that before, and we've been fortunate enough to get into Valdosta State and practice in their facility prior to playing in the games. And then we knew some people up around the Macon area that let us practice at their gym where they had goals that were very similar to that. So yeah, it is somewhat of a struggle. It's not a myth. I mean, it's real.
You don't really get any kind of time on the floor. It's just when it's your time to play, that's when you have to adjust to that.
Yes, sir. You're right. I mean, you got your pregame shoot around, and it's very tight. It's very limited. Whereas you might get to another school and have 30 minutes to warm up. You're on a pretty tight schedule up in Macon, so you might only have 10, 15 minutes to shoot on.
With each year being a different group, what's the coming off this state championship and having replaced 3 starters? How is that molding together for you early on as a team?
It's tough, but it's also rewarding to see the players that have been there before that have been followers, and that's important too. Not just leadership, but being able to follow true leadership. That's important too. But to see those girls sort of without you pushing them or asking them, to see them step up as leaders and kind of embrace that. This is our time now. Even though, not taking away from the success that they had as underclassmen, but now as seniors, you just kind of see them embrace that leadership role, and, it's rewarding. Any questions for any of the players? All right, thank y'all.
All right, good afternoon, or it's not on. All right, good evening. My name is Terrence George. I'm the head basketball coach at Clinch County. To my right, we have player
Jill Bell
and RJ Glosson. So this is my 19th year as the head basketball coach at Clinch County. And This is my 9th year with the boys. And so as far as, you know, the outlook for this particular season, we look to, you know, come in every day, work hard, compete, and compete in a region that is, you know, typically pretty tough. So I expect it to have, you know, a good season this year, in other words. But with that being said, you know, we're slightly behind because our football team is doing well, and all the players basically play football. And so these past 2 weeks, we're just trying to grind with whatever we do have that has shown up. And so once those guys finish football season, we'll utilize as much time as we have to try to close the gap and catch up with the other teams that have already started. Most of them have probably played about 10 games or so before, you know, I ever even get my players. Excuse me. But once we get all the players back, you know, like I said, we'll try to catch up, try to close the gap. As for region, you know, it's typically a pretty competitive region that we play in, and so we look to just be in the thick of things as we get down the stretch. We've been known to kind of be close to the end, playing for the region championship or something like that, and so we just want to try to continue that and be a threat in the region. And we're also going to, because we're young this year, we have a lot of young players coming up. We've got about 6 freshmen that we expect to play this year. And so we're going to play a lot of games outside of the region to try to test ourselves and use that as a measuring stick to see what kind of growth we've, you know, had from summer until, you know, as the season progresses and carries on. But then after that, you know, we look to just, like I say, find an identity. I have an idea of what I want us to be, but it'll boil down to, do we actually develop that particular identity? You know, and as far as, you know, what players we expect to play key roles this year, obviously these 2 guys, you know, they're seniors, so we expect them to be valuable to our team. We expect them to be leaders, you know, on the floor, in the locker room, and things of that nature. And so, yeah, that's what we're looking forward to this year. Any questions that you may have for us?
Yeah, Coach, how difficult is that when basically your whole team is still playing football? I mean, do you guys get to play games, or are you just going to wait until they're finished, or what are you going to do?
We don't get to play games. I did try that once. We actually played Ware County back when we had power rankings, and I managed to have about 9 guys before football season ended. And we played a game, had a very good game with Ware County back then, but because of power rankings, it ended up having a negative effect on us. And so after that, we just cannot afford to play any games. Right now, I have 5 kids that are in the gym with me for the past 2 weeks. And so we'll simply wait for these guys. And I tell you, in the past, we've got these guys back. You know, they finished the football season on Friday night. We got them Monday and played Tuesday. And that, you know, could be the case again this year. You know, our first game is scheduled for December 8th. That's the same day as the championship in football. So the only reason that game gets scheduled is if they play the championship. But that means that following Tuesday, we'll be playing basketball. And so, you know, it's grueling for these kids because they don't get much of a break. That is a good thing for the school, obviously, but, you know, I would like to at some point have, you know, 3 to 4 weeks before we play our first game too, but, you know, that's just wishful thinking because Clinch County football typically does well.
Hey, Coach, I know you guys stream, I think every team left in here does. How important is that in events like this, the first year for this, obviously, to give these kids the additional exposure they deserve versus Atlanta where everything's so concentrated?
You know, I've been doing this for a while, and obviously this is a huge step toward getting recognition for South Georgia basketball. You know, I see things like the Sandy Field guy who hosts and things like that, and there's hardly ever any mention of anybody from the South. We have good players in the South as well. You know, years past, I had a team, we were in the Final Four. I had a very good team that year. None of our guys had any mentions in All-State or anything like that. And so doing something like this here really shines a light on basketball down here, and so hopefully it'll stick and spread a little bit so that these guys get the notoriety that they deserve too. Because some of these guys and girls down here in the South are just as good as those in Atlanta, and they deserve that same recognition.
Appreciate it.
There are no questions. Any questions of the players?
I got a question for Jeremy.
I
You
kinda
bid
figured that.
to go to Indiana to play football. Have you talked to any of your coaches? Have they said anything about you playing basketball? Because I know a lot of those college coaches like, athletes like yourself to play multiple sports. But have you had that conversation with anybody up there?
No, that's not really been my focus. I just want to play football.
Good deal.
All right, if there are any additional questions, we really appreciate you guys putting this on for us, and good luck to all you guys during the season. Thank you.
Coach gave me the top of these, so I'm Joe Drew, class of 2025.
DJ White, class of 2024.
My voice, so do my best. I'm Coach Williams. This is my third year at Pierce County. We're coming off a rough 2 years, dealing with a lot of culture changes. Prior to this, I was at Andrew College as a head coach, so transitioning down to a high school level has been quite different for me. This year coming up, we got 9 guys coming off the football field, and we're projected to finish at least in the semifinals. So we pushed all our games back to November 30th. So if the guys make it to the championship game, they'll probably miss 4 games. Even then, our practices outweigh our games, if that makes sense. These two right here beside me, Joe Drew averaged 15 last year as a sophomore. He came to us from Southeast Bullet. DJ right here, he been in the development stage, averaged 10 last year as a junior. So I'm looking forward to having him this year. This year, coming up, be the first year we have 10 straight guys without injuries. Last year we lost at least 3 guys to injuries, and we lost our best player who averaged 25 to a knee injury. So this year we're looking to implement our culture, and that's pushing the ball, playing fast pace, and just getting up and down the court. We got a lot of speed, we got a lot of talent, being that everybody will be there. So I got high this team. We're in the region with Appleton, Tatnall, Vidalia, and Toombs. And Toombs County is returning 10 guys from last year. We got Windsor Forest in our region as well, and that's a Savannah powerhouse. We have Tatnall, who ended up losing 8 seniors last year, so that's big for us. And then we have Vidalia. Coach Daly always doing a great job with his team. So we're looking to compete. Any questions? I'm sorry for my voice.
Yeah, Coach, who do you see as sitting at the top? Is it still Windsor Forest, or do you see somebody else that I guess is the odds-on favorite going into the region, or going into region play?
In my opinion, Windsor Forest is always going to be great. Just because those Savannah kids love basketball, and you don't have to instill that in them. And after that, I'd probably say Toombs County, they're returning 10 players, and they got a great team. And Vidalia returning 10, so I think those 3 teams will be up in the air. And I think we'll sit right behind them, in my honest opinion, just because we'll have our whole team. Now, granted, we won't start until, kind of like Coach said, we won't start until December 11th probably. Our first region game, December 12th. So we're going to be coming in, going solely off of talent, and just trying to critique the game as we go along.
Coach, I know Pierce County, we being from Charlton, I know Pierce has a very strong youth program as well. These young men, I'm sure they come up through that. Can you speak to that?
As far as our youth program, I think it's more so headed towards football. Basketball standpoint, this is my third year, so I've been trying to implement that, trying to get these kids out of the upward leagues and church leagues to get in the rec league and actually compete against great talent. And I've been here 3 years again. I think these 8th graders I got coming up, they have been putting in the work along with these guys for the last 3 years. So I think we'll see the tables turn here soon. And that's how I feel, because I'm from Grant, so I know a little bit about this area. So I'm hoping that it work in our favor here in the next few years and we can get it turning starting this year.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
James, in getting ready for these guys to come back with what you have in the gym right now, how much is spent on individual style play to help build depth when you do get these guys?
Yeah, so I think we got 3 varsity guys right now. I actually had one break his foot 2 weeks ago, so now we at 3. Those guys, the 3 that we have been in the program for the last 3 years. So Ty Reddick and Jalen Hayes, what you know of. But a lot of those guys are freshmen, and I think that's the biggest thing we're dealing right now is the competition in practice ain't at the level that I get to be. And it's more so focused towards development, and our 8th grade team is practicing with us right now, just so I can get them prepared for when, they get up in next year, because we're going to have to depend on them. And I keep a lot of kids because I don't know who's going to make it, who's going to turn out to be what, because they're so far behind in individual development towards basketball that I have to take my chances, and if it don't work out, then we go from there. But we got a couple that, if you seen them last year and you seen them now, these 2 as well, you can tell their game go from here to there just off of skill development. And I think that's just the work that you put in, and I'm trying to get them in the gym now. Pierce County is a powerhouse football schools. We try to work together and keeping everybody together and keeping all the athletes healthy and making sure they working towards 2 sports or 3 sports according to what it is. And, these guys get to school early. They'll start shooting soon. They'll finish football 7 o'clock. They'll be at football on Sundays. They got film, so those guys in the gym right now, I'm trying to make them understand that basketball ain't for fun. We got to compete, and that's the biggest thing with those young guys. They just play to play.
How does having these 2 guys along with the other guys, how does that help with the competitiveness of the practices because of what they go through to get ready for Friday nights? So what they bring to the table.
When they come off that football field, they're mentally tough. Hands down. If you can make it through that season, then you're ready, in my opinion. When they step in practice from day one, you'll see a difference in the whole gym as far as energy, effort, athleticism, leaders. Carson Sloan playing this year, he'll end up being a D1 signee as a tight end. You got Elijah Howard, who will be another guy that's playing this year. You add those guys in, man, we go from here to there just like that in one day. So when they step in, they know it's go time. I try to implement some toughness in them as far as just competing on the court, and everything ain't got to be friendly. And I think for these 2, they learn it slowly, and practice sometimes is tough because everything's so fast paced. And when they step in, they know that. So I try to get them to not be buddy-buddy with their teammates and push each other. So. Any more questions? It's good. I want to shout out Coach Lenny for setting this platform for us, and he's been doing a heck of a job since he's been here in Ware County. This is major for South Georgia. I know he's a Savannah guy, and he's connected with a lot of coaches. So for him to open up this platform for this area is huge. And again, I've been there. I recruited this area. I recruited some of his kids, and the stuff that he does, it works. So big shout out to Ware County for hiring Coach Lenny and giving South Georgia this platform. Thank you.
ready? Good afternoon, everybody. I am Shirley Goff. I'm the coach at China County High School. To my right, we have Darian Martin, who's a junior. This is his third season playing for me. We're looking for big things from him. He's an explosive playmaker. He's a tough guard. Last year, he played a lot of minutes, and we're looking for his leadership. On our left, we have our senior, our captain, Q Bell. He's been playing 3 years with me, 3 years on varsity. And these guys do not play football, so they're in the gym every day. I'm going to let him say something about themselves, and I'll tell you about the program. I let Darian want to talk about his expectation for himself this season.
Hello, my name is Darian Martin. My expectation for the team this year is win the region title and the state title.
Q Bell.
My name is Q Bell. My expectation for this season, the region title and the state title, and making the young guys around me better.
All right, the state of the program. The whole program from China County is a small school located down south between Tipton and Cordia, Georgia. We have 35 middle schools in our programs, 6th through 8th grade. We have 14 8th graders. In the high school program, we have over 20. We have 16 out right now. We'll have another 5 that will play this summer. And we'll have a second trial with once football take care of their business. And we all pros support each other from the top, from our superintendent to our principal to our AD to the board. We're a big family from the whole tiny family. This season, last season, we was kind of big. We had Trent Thompson and Mario Goodman. We went inside a lot last year. We piled the ball inside. This season was smaller, but we're faster. We're going to use that speed that we have, the quickness that we have, to put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams. So we can force them into some tough situations. With that being said, we can create some easy baskets. And our region is very tough. In this region, 7 teams have been to the Final Four. 7 teams have played for it. You have Coach George from Clancy. He has a tough team. He has Bill, who's an awesome player. Manil has some great players. And we're looking forward to getting back to that, getting that region title. We talk about our goals and our expectations. So, to be the best, you have to beat the best. And those are the guys that have been doing it pretty good for the last couple of years. Do you guys have any more questions? Anything you want to ask me?
Yeah, Coach, we talked to Clinch's coach, and he said he doesn't really play until his football players come back, being a small school. I mean, do you guys try to play games? And if so, how hard is it to do it when, half your guys are, playing football right now?
It's been challenging. Every year is different. This year we have 16 out there. In the previous years, before we was depending on a lot of football players, but we've been getting a lot of kids that don't play football. And so we've been building their skills and getting to the level so we can play without some of the football. But our first game will be next Saturday against Athens. And most of the guys that are playing are non-football guys. So getting them out there is a challenge. But the football guys are the meat. These guys are the bread. So when you got the meat, they're the stronger, physical guys. And that kind of helps us. You combine it together, you have an explosive team. We want to play fast and we want to play furious. So with that being said, we like to play the number game. We want to play 10, 12 guys. So those guys know that 10, 12 guys, you can start, you can be on the bench, it doesn't matter. What matters is you give me your all, because I'm going to give you everything I got. So to get you to where you need to be, get you seen, and give you an opportunity. That's all I can give you right now. Try to give you. I want my kids to have everything. I want to get to 100%, but that's hard. I want to be the best version of myself.
Coach, first off, I want to thank you for the trip. I think you and Evans County probably had the longest ride over here, so I appreciate you coming and attending. Secondly, as long as I've been involved with Charlton, you guys have always been one of the top 2-3 teams to beat in the region. How do you maintain that consistency? I've been involved with 12, 13 years now, and it's always you guys. How do you do that?
Well, I came in up on Coach Cadillac. I knew Coach Allen, so we take that those things and we modified it to what we're doing now. So we the last couple of years when we were really good, we had those top end players. During that time back then, we kept losing some of the top end guys that was transferring to other schools. So we're trying to keep those guys here. We play a system that we're gonna play a lot of players, so we allow them to be athletes. So you got athletes on take from the football, you train them up, and it allows us to create havoc on that court. Coach Cadillac used to tell me when I was his assistant, look like controlled chaos. You know, you pressing a lot. Yeah, you're gonna give up a couple baskets, but you surely get a lot of them. So, and it does work if you do it right. If everybody holds each other accountable in their right spots and right places, we do a good job at it.
Appreciate it.
Any more questions? All right, thank you so much. You guys got anything? We really appreciate what y'all doing. We had a tie blowout to get here, and we really wanted to come down here, so that's what took us so long to get here. I just love that you're giving us the opportunity to get these players out here and talk about our program. Thank you guys so much. Y'all do a great job too.
Last but not least, good afternoon. I'm Coach Lenny Williams from Ware County High School. I have two players with me that are probably happy that they were here tonight because they got to miss practice. Let them introduce themselves.
I'm Charles Hope. I'm class of 226. Darius Ward, class of 2025.
I brought these young men because, number one, they've been in the school system for a while and in the community, and once I took the job, they've showed me that these are the guys I needed to build around, outside of who I knew from the football guys and any other players that I had. But like Charles said, he's a sophomore, and Darius, who's a returning junior. This was a great opportunity for us to have down in South Georgia. I've been in Atlanta, I've been in Savannah, and the truth be told, South Georgia is known for more football. But I never, when I was in Atlanta and Savannah, wanted to compete against a South Georgia team. They always played tough, gritty, grindy, and they defended. But when I had this opportunity to take this job, it was a different challenge to take over a program that I wanted to see rise, that had the athletes. We took over this summer. We had a great summer. We went on to Edward Waters University twice and went to their team camp, and then we played in Georgia, the GBCA live period twice, which is invite only, but it's if you have some players, you're going to do a good job there, and woke these guys up of what we're heading to. They've had a rough past few years, and last night was a great showing in our scrimmage of where we're heading. I definitely was not satisfied last night in a lot of areas, and as much as they got patted on the back, they definitely did not get patted on the back in the locker room. And we had a great film session today, which was a good teaching tool. We watch film pretty much every day or every other day. But our schedule is brutal. Most coaches, when they first get hired, you know, I don't like to talk about anybody's program, but wants to stack up wins and run for the competition. But if you're playing against Bradwell, Coffee, or Greenbrier, you better be locked and loaded, because number one, they're going to defend, they're going to play scrappy, and number two, they're going to be able to score. And so I made sure that we didn't have an off night. Even playing against, you know, great teams like, well-coached teams like Brantley County, Clinch. Those are well-coached teams that's going to make us, sometimes you can't get up and down. How are you going to play a half-court game? Make us think, make our players think. And then we go to Titletown, which is in Valdosta, which has some ringers. And then we're over at Battle of Peach. They have not given us our opponent yet, so that's kind of scary. And then we're playing Tournament of Champions, where our first game is against Carrollton. And then we also play in the Brunswick tournament as well. So we'll be battle tested for our region. You know, we're missing 7 players due to football. But we have some great young talent. I have a roster of 19 for varsity. I have a roster of 12 for JV, and then a roster of 13 for 9th grade. So the numbers are great. We got a great problem right now. And it makes us do our homework every day, but like I told those young men in film, you don't do it right, you don't do it by the standard, you won't play. Simple as that. But it's also teaching them that they're held accountable. Because it's not guaranteed that even though those football guys are coming out and saying that they're coming out, that they'll be out there. But we got some dudes this year. And, you know, let's let the cat out of the bag. Jarvis Wright is with us. You know, and he's been a great young man after transferring. He made us a world better, but he has a lot to learn. And I showed him on film. And I told him, if you don't want to be coached, this is not a place for you. Other than that, but the style we're going to play is, as you can tell last night, we're going to get up in here, we're going to defend you 84, 94 feet, hands down. I don't care, and I come from the Rick Pitino era, the Billy Donovan and Toby Anderson, who's at Iona right now. He was my coach in college, and I have the numbers, but I did it at Woodville. You know, we did it against the Valdez and everything, regarding 94 feet. Because we want to dictate the pace. And if you can dictate the pace just like last night, in the fourth quarter, those legs started going downhill off of those three-point shots. But it's also, we're not going to be able to hit shots every night. We're going to learn how to defend. And our best shooters, our best players are going to score. And this is not rec league, and I tell them that, it's not AAU. You know, you have roles. And they're getting it. They're getting it. These young men are getting it, and I'm proud of them. But enough about that. But any questions for us? I know Coach Mandy was up here. She's been an awesome support. Awesome support. Coach Collins and Coach Dr. Kellogg, like Coach up here from Turner just said, that's our principal now. And he said the same stuff. He and I was talking today. He said some of the same stuff he said, and I just started laughing because I had it written down. But like I tell our guys, our motto is organized chaos. Organized chaos. Because practices are not going to be perfect, right? So how are you going to play a perfect game? And that's where a lot of coaches go wrong. They think, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. No, okay? No unforced turnovers. Take charges, defend, organized chaos, and they're starting to get it. But any questions from you guys? Sorry, this light is really beating in our face, man. I'm like, golly. I've never been up here, and I work here.
Well, Coach, you talked about role players. I know a lot of times, to make a football analogy, you've got defensive linemen who basically are to eat up space. That's basically all they're doing. You let your linebackers do what they do. How does that kind of translate in basketball for your role players?
Well, just like last night, Kevin Ramsey, he's not with us. He's a sophomore. He has 17 points, 14 rebounds. He took up space. He's a knack for the ball. And this is a young man that's a sophomore that got cut last year. And I turned to them and said, you know, we need a guy like him. But also football players, those are big, wide bodies. I mean, we got some grown men on that football field that did not come out and play basketball. And I went to each one of them. I did. And say, look, I need you. Right now, I got some dogs, but I need some pit bulls. And after they saw what we're about, they said, Coach, we got you. We're here. Even, you know, Luke Hooks was going to be out there, the quarterback. You know, Jamar Burton was going to be out there. You know, big old 6'4" monster who's been offered by Tennessee. I mean, this kid should be on the basketball court. Ian, 6'7", 6'8" kid should be on the basketball court. You know, RJ Boyd, who's been offered by Power Fives, he plays basketball, so they're going to take up space. We're going to let them. We're going to let you feel us. And you know, right now, you know, the talk is the foul situation. Well, you get 5 fouls each quarter, double bonus. Well, guess what? We're going to make them call that. We're going to make them blow a whistle. We don't want it to just be. You know, they're going to get tired of it sooner or later. We're going to guard you.
How's that been different for you guys, for both your players?
I'll let them answer that as well, but for me, it's been different. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We had some young men that really thought just showing up to basketball when they wanted was going to work. Not doing what's right in the classroom, not getting a class on time. It comes to my phone. If you're tardy, it comes to my phone. If you miss an assignment, it comes to my phone. I'm on their parent portal on Infinite Campus. So they have no room for error now. Are they going to make mistakes? Yes. And that's what I'm here to help them, to teach them about. But for you to just be hanging out with the wrong crowd and talking back to your teacher and it's the little things that get you beat. And when I first took the job, I requested film from several of their opponents. And I tell them every day, you were undisciplined on defense. And undisciplined on offense. And I can tell because you're undisciplined in general. But I let them, you know, how's the culture changed, but I love the turn of the table. They're getting it. But sometimes they forget. And I remind them, hey, what we say in our gym is 17 doors, pick one. And when the players haven't changed, parents have changed. You know, and when they have accountability, when they have discipline, they'll abide by it because you have something they want. And the problem was they were never held accountable. But Darius has been in the program longer. He's kind of seen a little bit. But how do you feel the culture's changed?
I feel good about it. A bit more focused on like the little things and stuff. A bit in the gym, grinding more, and just working hard. I think the culture has really changed from like last year. We just been playing hard and been fighting more grinding, been like more in the gym. But yeah, that's how I feel about the situation.
Coach, I want to let these guys know, I've been covering wear basketball for a long time. I walked in the gym last night, watched girls play, and usually I leave after 1/4 of the boys' game. I wanted to stay last night, but I had to go to a council meeting. But in that 10 minutes, 15 minutes that I saw y'all, I saw a different character that y'all had and the discipline. It was refreshing to watch. So I appreciate y'all buying in to Coach Williams because I can tell you that I see a difference with the way y'all carry yourself now.
And a lot of that too, the culture also goes to our community. You know, Mr. Head, when I first got here, we talked. And I said, what can I do to help make this change? And he was a big advocate and a support for that because I wanted to learn. And these young men, even we did some community service the last few weeks, and the Miracle League. And somebody said, why are y'all doing that? I said, how can we teach young men how to be advocates in their community if they don't know nothing about it? Yeah, they know McDonald's, they know Zaxby's, Chick-fil-A, the food places, but they don't know what's in their community. And again, it's the little things. I can sit up here all day long, but those little things, when Liberty went on their little run last night, I think I called timeout and I said some words to them, but I said, understand this. You can't just do the little things for 30 minutes. You got to do it for 32. And, we know we're down with some key players, but they fought. They played a style that it was almost refreshing to, and I know they could do. But they understand it. And film is not fun. Film session is not fun. I about kick 2 kids out of the film session. Like, if you're not going to do it this way, what excuse do you have every other time? Because I can assure you, if I got excuses every year, they're going to find a new coach. So I tell them all the time, I love you. I'm going to be there for you, but we had to clean out the closet, and I'm still not done. But we have some great young men that care, great families and community. And it starts with our media, and just sitting down with y'all and y'all telling me what's wrong. And you can't get upset when somebody says you're doing something wrong. And I think that's the problem with nowadays, that adults feel that is an attack. No, I'm doing something. And I ask them all the time, how many times did I take a break in the film today? A lot. I'm yelling at them on transition defense last night. We haven't worked on it one time. We haven't. I told Coach thought he was asleep last night. No, get to work. He has worked hard. There's something, and he's been great. And he had several things he had to handle last night, and then this morning, and he came back with it. Inbound plays, forget. We had inbound plays last night because I haven't had all my guys. But we played, and I'm yelling through it and talk through it. Any other questions?
Coach, I just want to thank you for hosting this event. I know it's the first time anything's been done like this for basketball in South Georgia. I know 912 Sports hosts a very successful football version of this. I was wondering what your thoughts were on trying to grow that into something like what 912 Sports has done to get these kids in these programs the exposure they might not necessarily get like North Georgia gets.
First, it starts with communication and letting others know. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm an advocate on social media. I'm a seller for my program. Okay, not everybody has those capabilities, but you gotta show the state what you have. You can't tell the state. You gotta show them. And I'm not from South Georgia. So before I got here, when I was in Atlanta and Savannah, I was the advocate for those areas. And I'm fighting, and then when I'm in these meetings and we're selecting teams, and I'm like, no, that team is pretty good. You don't know nothing about it. And now it's the same with South Georgia when I'm on the Georgia Basketball Coaches Committee. And when we selecting teams for live period, hey, that team is pretty good. You know about South Georgia, you know about this. I'm also involved in a mentoring program of young coaches, and I'm a South Georgia rep. But it's not getting on social media to sit here and always tell the positives. Is to get on social media and just say, my program is here, this is what we're doing, and you gotta be willing to travel, and it stinks, but that's the nature of the ball game. We're in South Georgia, okay? If you want the perception to change, you gotta change it. You gotta help change it. And with Coach Hawkins and I was, and he and I are good friends, which is funny because as soon as he walked in, I said, you might not want to be my friend tonight, huh? and he goes, Coach, it happens. But we were talking, and when he came to me with this idea, I said, I'm all for it. What do you need me to do? I can tell you what I want to do. What do you need to do? He said, I'll send you all the teams where we can hit, and we run with it. And now, with me being back there and I was taking pictures, I was sending it out on social media. Same way. Twitter. Now I'm to Facebook. I'm copying y'all because I want people to know that we're not, only because we're in South Georgia, we're just up I-75. We're around the corner. Yeah, you gotta make a couple turns, but we're here, and we're gonna continue being an advocate for everybody in South Georgia, even though we gotta compete against you. I've been in those meetings where it's all state meetings, And I see teams get annihilated off of All-State. And because they have all of their reps there. And I'm gonna have to say this, South Georgia need to basketball coaches need to represent their programs. We can sit here and complain all we want, and I'm doing a tangent, but if your coach wins the region championship, and he doesn't show up to the state meeting because he's the advocate or she's the advocate, you think those Atlanta schools are gonna vote, or North Georgia schools are gonna vote for their kids? They're not. I mean, they can say, yeah, that kid's a good player. And they'll say this, their coach didn't come to, their region didn't come to represent it. So we have to do better jobs as coaches, basketball coaches, to make sure that, yes, it's 4 hours. These guys know. If I had a meeting tonight, I go down to Atlanta, come right back, and I'm back at 4 in the morning. They've seen me do it. Because I can't tell them to fight if I'm not going to fight.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Is that the conclusion? Thank you guys again for coming out. I know it was a late night, but it has been fun. Now I get to go watch film because I did record practice. We record practice, so, and then get after it tomorrow. But if y'all need anything, definitely please email me or text me. Do not call me. Because I don't, he'll tell you I don't get phone service in this building. I do not. You might not get it right now. So, but let's continue to grow. Appreciate you guys. Yes, let's take the chairs back.
That's me, yes.
I see y'all pushing them girls all day.
We appreciate you getting home safe.
It's awesome.